Alright, this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, once and for all, I'm going to show you guys how to juice pineapple in a vertical juicer without clogging or jamming. And I know there's other videos showing you guys how to juice pineapple in vertical juicers, but the problem is they only juice one pineapple. Today, I'm actually juicing 5 pineapples straight, one after the other. This, in my opinion, is not the best way to juice pineapples, because the best way to juice pineapples is juice it with some vegetables like jicama. Link down below to my video, Never Juice Fruits Without Doing This, where I share the technique of juicing pineapples with jicama. It's always going to work a lot better. That being said, I'm going to prove you guys once and for all that you can juice pineapples straight in a juicer if you use my tips and techniques, plus you use the best juicer to juice pineapples. And in my opinion, in 2025, the best juicer that I use most these days is the Hurom H70. You guys don't understand that Hurom is a Korean company. They've been in business since 1974, so that's 50 years now. And in 2005, they invented the SST, or slow speed juicing technology, aka the vertical juicers. They literally made the first vertical juicers in the entire world. And actually, Hurom is OEM manufacturers and makes juicers for other different brands that actually just stick their name on it. That being said, I'll say Hurom saves its best juicers for its own brand, and that's why I love the Hurom H70. Hurom has a few easy, clean models, the H320, the H70, the H400, that I've all tested. Links down below to that video where you can see the full comparison. In that comparison, the H70 kind of stood above the rest. It's like the mid-range unit. It performed better than the high-end unit and the low-end unit. And to me, it's the simplest design, and also, most importantly, the reason why I love the Hurom H70 the most is because it's the easiest to clean vertical juicer out there. It literally takes me 1 minute to clean the Hurom H70 when I'm done juicing. And let me show you guys why that is, all right? So, much like other juicers on the market these days, it has a hopper that you could fill up with produce, so the machine does part of the cutting and all the feeding of the produce for you. When you take this off, you literally just need to spray this out. That's what I've done every single time with this Hurom H70. And then, unlike other juicers that have a stainless steel screen, the Hurom H70 has no stainless steel screen. It has a 2-piece auger, so as the produce is crushed and squeezed between the auger and the juicer bowl, right, the juice is created, pulp is created, the juice basically falls in. So it falls in between these cracks and then comes out the bottom, which then feeds out this part of the bowl, and then the pulp goes straight down, which then comes out where the pulp comes out. So when I'm done, I literally just open these up, open this up, spray it down, spray this down, and it literally takes me 60 seconds. I've done this a number of times in my videos. If you guys want to see the full cleaning process and learn about the H70, link down below to my original unboxing video. That being said, since I originally made the unboxing video, Hurom was just basically getting beat down by other juicer companies that had longer warranties, despite them making the juicers for other brands. You know, so Hurom basically recently increased their warranty on the H70 to be competitive with other brands. So the H70 warranty, this is not available on most other Hurom juicers. A few do have this warranty. It has a full 15-year warranty on all the juicer parts, as well as the motor body. I'm not really concerned about the motor body going out. I barely ever see Hurom motors fail, but the juicing parts, you know, may fail in the next 15 years. And if you guys buy an H70, it will be replaced under warranty if the parts fail due to no fault of your own. Anyways, also assembly is very easy on this machine. You're just going to take the 2-piece auger, drop it in there, take this top hopper, drop it in place, set it on top, and you're all ready to juice. Now, because this juicer runs at a low and slow 60 revolutions per minute, it's actually nice and quiet, so it's not going to wake up the neighbors, your family sleeping when you're juicing in the morning. So yeah, that's the H70, and that's what I'm juicing today, the 5 pineapples straight without stopping and without clogging. So while I am juicing pineapple today, I'll be the first to tell you guys that pineapples are not my favorite fruit to juice whatsoever. I would say maybe blood oranges are, with the pith. Link down below to my video on that. That being said, the reason why I'm not a big fan of juicing pineapples is because it is really low in soluble fiber. And to remind you guys, when you juice, you keep the soluble fiber because the fiber is soluble, meaning it dissolves in water. So if you make a juice like from oranges with the white pith, right, it's going to come out pretty thick. It's going to come out more like a nectar than a thin juice. That's because all that pectin fiber is soluble and it dissolves in the liquid, and then it kind of makes it a little more thick. And actually, as I've shown before, link down below to my video where I show juice contains fiber, because I juice actually papaya in a Hurom H70 and show that it actually solidifies in my fridge after juicing, proving that some juices can contain fiber in it. That being said, pineapple has like the least amount of soluble fiber of any fruit or vegetable that I'm aware of that is commonly juiced. It only has about 10% soluble fiber. So for that reason, I always encourage you guys to juice pineapple with other, especially vegetables, to increase the soluble fiber content. That being said, even though it minimizes the soluble fiber, I definitely would still say fresh pineapple juice is definitely better than drinking a soda with added sugars, all right? Nonetheless, pineapples are an amazing fruit. And the main reason for that is while they do contain things like vitamin C and different minerals and all these things, the main reason is its bromelain content. So actually, I pull up a published study. We're going to pop up this infographic right on the screen for you guys to see. And you can see the bromelain basically is concentrated in the stem of the pineapple. That's the part that comes up along the bottom and then plugs into the pineapple before it's broken off. And actually that has a lot of bromelain. Obviously we're not able to eat that or harvest that, but the stem connects directly to the inner core. That's that center part of the pineapple that you guys never eat, because when you cut a pineapple or when you buy a cored pineapple at the store, they always cut out the middle. Like corn and apple, they core the pineapple because that inner core is hard and fibrous, doesn't have a lot of taste, it's kind of bland, and you just end up just not liking it for the most part. People just want to eat the delicious flesh. That being said, that's why I like to juice the pineapple, because you get to juice the flesh as well as the core to increase the bromelain content that you're getting in you, okay? And the bromelain content in the core of the pineapple is anywhere from 5 to 10 times more of the fruit or the flesh of the pineapple. So let's take a look at this little chart and go over the benefits of the bromelain. So according to this published study, bromelain may help with cardiovascular disease, can help with rheumatoid arthritis and fight inflammation, can help with microbial disease because it could hinder bacterial growth, can help with fibrinolysis, also help with sports injuries and help reduce swelling and pain and redness, increase recovery and promote healing. Also with dental applications, including things like teeth whitening, decreased inflammation, may help with things like cancer, and even things like the C19 based on the published study. Link down below for that study if you guys want to review it completely. Nonetheless, bromelain is an amazing enzyme that is available in the pineapple, and when you guys use a slow juicer that runs at a low and slow speed, you're going to maximize the enzyme content. Some juices that run at high speeds, when they supercharge the juice with oxygen, can degrade many enzymes, right? So that's why I love using a slow juicer to maximize my enzymatic activity. All right, so next up, I'm going to teach you guys how to juice a pineapple. And before I start cutting it open and showing you guys my technique for that, the first technique is even more important. It's when you go to the store, the grocery store, to buy the pineapple, right? As you can see, all these pineapples are like greenish. None of them are like golden yellow. And I know you're thinking in your head, you're thinking, John, you're lame, man. You're juicing unripe pineapples. Well, here's the thing. You know, they harvest pineapples at the right stage of ripeness, right, for you guys to consume. So if you're buying them at the store, they're in the ripe stage. Now, yes, they could be riper, they could be less ripe, but actually when you guys are juicing pineapple, you guys want to buy them on the less ripe side. How you know when they're less ripe? Well, like I've chosen here today, they'll be green. They won't be like, you know, if they look kind of brownish, that means they're kind of getting old. If they're kind of like golden yellow and they're soft, that means they're ripe and they're probably really good to eat, but they're not good to juice. You want to get nice, firm, green pineapple that's picked ripe, but firm, and if you try to press into it, your finger can't go in because it's really hard. It's like an unripe avocado. If you guys buy pineapple and you could press into it like a ripe avocado, it is too soft. You're gonna then probably clog and jam your juicer. When the pineapples are so soft, they don't juice well in vertical juicers, right? At that point, pineapples are best to just cut up and eat yourself because they're gonna be ripe, they're gonna be sweet, they're gonna be delicious, and if you wanna use those through a juicer, you can basically just chop them up into little cubes and then freeze them and then actually run those pineapple cubes through the juicer, you know, to make frozen fruit sorbet, and it's actually gonna be extra sweet. But if you guys get soft pineapples, guys, don't juice them is what I'm going to tell you guys. Go to a store, go to a different market that has pineapples that just came in on a fresh shipment. In many places around the country, pineapples may sit on the store shelves because people don't buy them. They get old, and that's when they really do a terrible job juicing. I literally just picked these up today at the local Hispanic market, and they were literally just putting them out. So I'm like, oh, they're putting out fresh pineapples. I got to make a pineapple juice video because nobody has a video where they juice 5 pineapples straight without clogging or jamming, all right? So yeah, that's my first tip. Make sure you select, you know, nice firm pineapples. The other tip I would give you guys, most of the time I buy pineapples, they're by the each. So honestly, these guys were 99 cents each at my local Hispanic market on sale this week. And the other thing is you want to like lift them up and you want to get ones as heavy as possible. I think I weighed these out and they're like pushing 4 pounds each, 3 to 4 pounds each. And, you know, here's the thing. When you guys buy by the each, the more they weigh, that means the more juice they contain and the more juice you're going to end up making. Also, you know, if it's heavier, that means it's more dense. If it's more dense, it's going to juice a lot better than fruits that are not as dense. That's a very important tip. So get the heaviest pineapples. Now we're going to go ahead and get the juicer set up and we're going to juice these pineapples and share with you guys all my tips. All right, so as you can see, the juicer's all set up, ready to go. We just have to put the collection cup that comes stock with the Hurom H70. It's form-fitting, and then I actually have a nice 8-cup glass pitcher. Link down below to my Amazon shop if you guys want to get this one. It's nice and snazzy. It's a little bit of an upgrade from the one I used to use. And next up, we're going to go ahead and juice a pineapple. So here's a trick, guys, that I learned from a pineapple farm when I visited on Maui. The first thing is you want to get off this top. A lot of people will just spin this top off. It'll spin off, but even better than spinning it because you lose some of the nutrition. You basically want to snap it. So you want to basically take a fast and clean jerk. Boom, and you'll see you'll like basically snap it off pretty clean and you guys won't have like an indentation right here. Next step is we need to cut this and prepare it for juicing. You know, I'm growing pineapples actually at my farm in Puerto Rico, and when I am able to harvest the ones I grow, I'm going to juice them with the skin and all, and I'll make videos on that showing you guys that. You can juice the skin. There's a lot of nutrients in the skin. That being said, if you're buying pineapples at the store, they are treated with fungicides and all these other chemicals on the skin so that they don't go bad before you buy them. So I recommend not juicing the skin, all right? So the main thing is we want to go ahead and cut off the top, cut off the bottom just to reveal the flesh, and we're going to cut off all the skin around the sides. So let me go ahead and do that for you. So let's see, first we're just going to go ahead and cut down the top. So you guys can see that's what I got, that's what I cut off. Same thing with the bottom. And if you guys are wondering what knife I'm using, I use these knives called the Kyocera knives. These are ceramic knives, and this is the micro serrated knife. This is the sharpest knife that doesn't need sharpening that I've ever used. They are ceramic, so I do break them once in a while, so I always have extra on hand. But while they work great. So I cut off the bottom. You guys can see what it looks like. Now we're just going to kind of go around and cut down the pineapple to cut off all the skin. Okay. I like to go in smaller segments instead of like doing a big segment because that way I could kind of get a more rounded pineapple and save more of the flesh and be more accurate. My goal is to not cut off too much of the flesh when I cut off the rind. All right, so you guys can see I basically cut off all the skin. You guys can see some of the eyes that are still in there. Sometimes I'll look at the eyes and make sure there's no funky, moldy stuff in there. I mean, they look all pretty clean to me, so I'm not really worried about it. The next step is we want to cut out the core. The core is basically the piece de resistance because it has 5 to 10 times more of the bromelain, but also that is the part that can get stuck in the juicer. All right, so can you guys see that? You see like the little round part in the middle? So what we're going to do, and I'm going to make this kind of exaggerated for you guys so you guys can see it. I'm going to actually notch it out. I don't want you guys to notch it out, but I'm doing this for illustration purposes only. Normally I would just cut out where I am actually notching out because I want you guys to see where I'm cutting. If I just did small cuts, you would not be able to see this. Obviously, normally I would not do these little notches, all right? So as you guys can see, I've notched this out. You guys should be able to clearly see I've made a tic-tac-toe pattern. Yes, like tic-tac-toe. And the O is in the middle. The O in the middle is the core, right? So normally I don't do this. Normally I just basically, where I make the tic-tac-toe pattern, I cut straight down. So I'm cutting out basically a tic-tac-toe pattern off the top. And I'm keeping, once again, the O in the middle. This is the most important part, guys. If you guys don't follow anything else to this video, follow this point because this is the most important point. As you guys can see, I now have 2 side pieces that are pretty thick, 2 end pieces, and then I still have that big O that's right in the middle, okay? So here's the thing. In this O that's running down the middle, this is the core where there's 5 to 10 times more bromelain. The fibers of the pineapple are running up and down. The fibers that are running up and down can clog the juicer outlet chute as the pulp makes a right angle turn to come out. So this is the thing we're gonna have to deal with. Now on this fruit flesh that I've cut out, the fibers actually run this direction, right? They run horizontally and they're a lot smaller. So basically on these pieces, I basically just cut them into little pieces. It's not super critical. I maybe cut this into basically 3, and then I'll just cut this once again into little pieces. Same thing with this. All right, so as you guys can see, we just have these, normal size pieces. This is not rocket science for this. So now I'm gonna cut up the core. This is the most critical step. And we wanna cut this into like little card deck, right? So we're basically just gonna go down and cut it into little slices. I'm gonna say like 1/4 inch slices. This is gonna be optimal. If you cut it into 1/2 inch slices, it may still work, but I always encourage you guys to cut it into 1/4 inch slices or even less. It is these fibers that can clog your juicer. If you clog your juicer, then you may not be able to take it apart. It's gonna just be a big headache. So you guys just trust me. I've juiced millions of pineapples, or hundreds at least, doing this technique without a problem. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and open up the machine. We're gonna take a handful of the fruit flesh, right? And then we're gonna take, a bunch of the little pieces and then drop those in. Once again, we're going to do another handful of the pieces. Now, here's the thing. The fruit is softer texture, and then these little pieces are a lot more fibrous. So the fibrous pieces will really help push the softer fruit texture through. So we're basically being able to vary the fiber textures by just simply loading up the hopper with different amounts of fruit flesh and also the core flesh. This is very important, guys. And as you guys can see, I fit that whole pineapple in the hopper of the H70 without a problem. Shut the lid, check it out. One whole pineapple fit in there. Next up, let's go ahead and turn this machine on and let's get juicing. All right, so because I cut it out optimally, right, soon enough we will see juice running out of the machine. We will also see the pulp coming out of the machine, right? And the pulp will basically run uninterrupted. Right, so I'm not just going to juice 1 pineapple. I'm going to juice 5 straight because if I'm going to clog and jam, it's probably going to happen if I'm doing more than 1, right? That's why I'm doing all 5 in a row, and you will never see this pulp that's ejecting stop because the way I'm cutting it will not allow it to clog. Plus, of course, the Hurom H70 was released in 2024. It is the latest design that is least likely to clog based on my testing. All right, so as this is running, I'm just going to go ahead and prep these. We're going to just do this in fast forward mode to save you guys some time. right, as you guys can see, the Hurom H70 is done. No stopping, no clogging, no jamming. I really love that on the Hurom H70, basically I would put one in, let it process, and while it's processing and juicing, so I don't have to, because I don't have to feed it in, I'm sitting there prepping the next one, and by the time it's done juicing that first one, the hopper's empty, I could then put in the next one, and you guys saw the process until basically my container was overflowing, because I made so much juice out of these pineapples, it's insane. So, and then of course, you saw the pulp continually running out the whole time. It never stopped, it never clogged, right? You always want to keep an eye on the pulp. If it stops coming out for any significant amount of time, that means you have a pulp clog, a pulp jam. It's going to make your juice very pulpy, and then it may be difficult to take your machine apart. So if that should happen and you see the pulp stop flowing out, you want to stop the machine, take it apart, clear everything out, and then restart. I would encourage you, if that is happening to you, you didn't either cut the core up properly, and or it may be too soft, in which case you should add some carrots, intermixed carrots or jicama, or some kind of a root vegetable with it. You know, kohlrabi would work as well. All right, so let's go ahead and put down this spout cap and check out the juices we made. So you guys can see on this juice we basically made 1,000 milliliters, and over on this juice, I mean, it's tough, I'm gonna say we made like 2,000 milliliters. So between 5 pineapples and the Hurom H70, we made 3,000 milliliters of juice. So that means that each pineapple netted us about 600 milliliters of juice, which is quite impressive. Of course, I select the heaviest pineapples, and of course, I select the most dense ones and the ones that are most firm. They're always gonna juice the best. All right, so now I wanna show you guys the pulp. We're gonna go ahead and pick up the pulp and squeeze it. And if you guys could see, it's pretty daggone dry, but I could squeeze out some juice. All juicers will leave some wetness in the pulp unless you buy like a $2,500 pure juicer that will get the pulp sawdust dry. This machine is a fraction of the pure and actually has a longer warranty, a full 15-year warranty, than the pure, as well as it has the top of the class warranty, 15 years. Anyways, you guys can see we made lots of juice, and I will be straight up with you guys and tell you guys, due to the screenless technology that makes cleaning literally 1 minute, this machine does put a little bit more pulp in the juice in most cases. Some cases it won't, that I've tested, but in most cases it puts a bit more pulp in there. But the pulp is the insoluble fiber, which is actually good for us to drink. So unless you just have an aversion to drinking things with some little bit of pulp in there, I would encourage you guys to drink this juice as is. So next up, I want to taste the 100% pineapple juice rich in bromelain made in the Hurom H70, coming right out. Check it out. This is nice and thick. Some juicers are like the hydraulic press that press out the juice, press out a very clear juice. And when the juice is more cloudy, the cloudiness is basically the cell membranes and different proteins and other phytonutrients that make the juice more nutritious. So that's why I always recommend having some kind of particulate in the juice, not having totally clear juices like some juicer manufacturers would lead you to believe are actually better. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try this nice, rich juice. Amazing. All right, so we all had when we were kids like orange juice with a pulp. That's what it tastes like. This tastes like pineapple juice with a pulp. There's like little bits in there. It's really sweet. The secret is when you juice pineapple, it's not quite as acid, because I know we've all eaten pineapples and eaten too much and then our tongue starts to burn. I find when I juice pineapples, like the juice never will really burn my mouth. Amazing tropical flavor, sweet with the pulp. I just love it. Gotta say, the Hurom H70, the best juicer to juice fruits because it has an easy cleanup and works without hassle. As you guys saw, 5 pineapples without a problem. All right, so you guys just learned the best techniques and the best juicer to juice pineapple in this very episode. And if you have not yet bought the Hurom H70 and want to buy it for the lowest price, make sure you guys use the coupon code PINEAPPLE, that's PINEAPPLE, at Hurom.com. Link is down below. That coupon code PINEAPPLE will save you guys a minimum of 10% off your Hurom H70 purchase, and maybe even more. I've negotiated that my coupon codes will always give you guys the lowest publicly available price on the Hurom machines, so you guys can save the most money and get the best juicer to juice fruits as well. That's literally going to take me 1 minute to clean. That's why I love the Hurom so much, because after you're done cutting and feeding things and working so hard to get the juice made, you don't want to sit there and scrub juicer parts like I've done for my entire career selling juicers and making juice for the last 30 years. So I want to thank you guys who will use that coupon code. Not only will you get the lowest price, but Hurom will share with me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys, buy my produce, pay my electricity bill, pay my video editor, so that I could bring you guys these videos that interlace with some of the science and knowledge, so you guys have the best knowledge to maximize your health, you guys have the best techniques to use, and of course I recommend only the best juicers on my YouTube channel. So I want to thank you guys so much who have used my coupon code in the past or will use it in the future instead of others, so that Hurom will give me the credit and I can continue the work I love. So if you guys enjoyed this episode learning how to juice 5 pineapples in the Hurom H70 without clogging, without jamming, one after the other, no problems, and made lots of juice with a very dry pulp, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. If you know other people that want to juice pineapple, whether they're going to juice fast or whether they just love pineapple juice, be sure to share this video with them as well, especially in your Facebook groups and all these things. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes. I'll be coming every 5 to 7 days. You never know what new juicers I'll be demonstrating, comparing, unboxing, or juicing knowledge bombs I'll be dropping on you, so you guys could juice and eat more fresh fruits and vegetables processed in the best ways possible. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the different juicers on the market. And I'll be sure to link some of the videos I've made with the Hurom H70, the juicer I use the most, including my unboxing, including me making my daily green juice, as well as juicing citrus in the Hurom H70 to make a 7.7 times more nutritious citrus juice, as well as some of the other videos I've made in the past highlighting how amazing the Hurom H70 is. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.